Hi crafty friends, this is Pam with PS I Love You Crafts, and I have a wreath that I want to show you today. I needed a wreath to decorate my craft room, and I chose a grapevine wreath and some teal flowers. I have teal and pink in my craft room, and then I also have a little bit of baby's breath. But in this video, I'm going to show you what you can do with dollar store flowers and dollar store supplies, because you can really get a high-end look. The flowers from the dollar store are actually very nice. They generally have wired stems. You can usually pick them up for like $1 a pick, you know, like a long pick with several flowers on them. Wreaths run $1 to $3 maybe for the larger ones. The dollar store always has ribbon. They always have little things for spring, either in the floor section or in the garden section. So I'm going to add this butterfly. So first I'm going to start with making a bow. And there are tons of ways to make bows, but this is how I do mine. I start mine with a loop, and I make another loop. More or less what you're doing is you're just gathering the ribbon until you get a bow. There's no right or wrong way as long as the finished product is pretty. And I'm gonna gather again in the middle, and then I'm gonna just keep making loops till I get something about the fullness that I want. You could make the loops bigger. You can use wide ribbon, narrow ribbon. This project is very forgiving and very flexible. There's no right or wrong way to do this, really. You're going to find that wreaths are one of the easiest crafts to make for your home decor. And I'm just going to keep making loops. You can see it's starting to get a little bit fuller. You have to excuse my scrackly voice. Is that a word, scrackly? I have had the flu for 2 weeks. I'm finally starting to feel a little bit better, but my voice is still not good. But this is pretty much what you do. You just keep going back and forth till you get something you like. And you can see this is kind of a small bow. This isn't a very big one. And then this bow, or this ribbon, is the same on both sides, so I don't need to cut it in order to have my tail showing to the front by my scissors. So I'm gonna cut this. Let's see, I'll cut it down here. And then I have florist wire. You can use chenille stems, but all of these supplies you can get at the dollar store. And then I'm gonna stick the wire through, and then pull it to the back, and then give it a twist. One thing that I have learned is if you twist the bow, instead of twisting the wire, twist the bow, and it'll tighten the wire up to the bow. Whereas if you just twist the wire, whoops, thought that was part of my bow. If you just twist this, it doesn't twist tight up to the bow. This way, it'll twist tight. Now I've got some loops here that are, some are short, some are long. I'm just going to even it up a little bit. And you can see I didn't make this bow very big. It's just a small bow. And then I'm going to attach it using the wire. Now when you add bows to your wreath, the bow can be at the top, it can be at the bottom, it can be at 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. You know, there is no right or wrong way to do a wreath. I mean, if you go to the florist, or if you look online and look at wreaths, you will see the bows and the flowers are in all kinds of arrangements, you know, different ways put on, different ways, excuse me. And so I'm going to do this one like right, what I would call like 7 or 8 o'clock. So, and then I'm going to do these tails, just even them up a little bit. There we go. Now I'm ready to start putting on flowers. Now these flowers are on wire, and they came in a large bush. Excuse me. They came in a large bush, and I cut them apart with wire cutters. I just use regular wire cutters, which you can also find at the dollar store. And I have and like when you're doing a flower arrangement, you want some long and some short stems. But for wreaths, generally you want more short stems. Like you can see I have bits and pieces of leaves here that I have completely taken off. So I have a variety here, but for the most part, like this one, the stem is really short. You don't need very many long stems. So I just cut the flowers apart, and then I'm going to use a hot glue gun, and I'm going to stick them in the wreath. Now, I prefer a hot temp glue gun when I do wreaths, but a low temp glue gun will work as well. And as you're putting the flowers in, if you find something's not sitting right, like let's say something's sitting up too high, you just trim it off. I could just cut this off and make this a little bit shorter so that it sits better. So let's get started adding some leaves and some flowers. And you might have to hold your flowers in place for a minute until the glue dries. Now, like I said, there's no right or wrong way to do this. Oops. I'll stick this right in here. You can cover the whole thing with flowers. You can have just the bow at the bottom and flowers up at the top. If you had a large, a group of 3 large flowers, you could just have a bouquet of 3 large flowers and a bow. You can do halfway around. It is entirely up to you. And it may depend on how many flowers you have too. I have a lot of flowers from this stem that I got. Actually, this was 2 stems. So I have a lot of flowers. But if I didn't have as many flowers, then, maybe I would do something different. This one's a little bit long, so I'm going to shorten it up. But you can see, I'm just doing this random. Let's see how many more pieces I have here. I need some right there. So I think I'm going to put this piece in there. Oops. You see, I didn't like how the placement of that was, so I moved it until I got it the way I wanted. Okay, and you might have to stand over your project to see if you like the placement of your flowers, or you might see a bare spot. I have some leaves. I think I will add some leaves. I really like greenery mixed in with my flowers. I just think it gives it a more natural look, and it gives it a fuller look. Okay. Now, these baby's breath flowers, these were very inexpensive, but they sure do look nice. And they are kind of big. Like you can see, that's way too big for that. So I'm gonna cut these down into smaller pieces. And if I still want it to look full, I can group 3 of them together and glue 3 together in a spot if I want it full like that. So I'm going to just start putting them in, and I'm kind of go from there. Like I said, this is very forgiving. Wreaths were one of my first crafts that I ever felt like I really mastered. But this wreath, it really doesn't have much. Let's see, I have under $10 into this wreath. So I hope, if you've never made a wreath before, I hope that you'll give it a try, because I really think that they are easy. Especially if you have a glue gun. You could wire it also, or use like thick tacky glue. It would probably be a little bit more difficult, but you could certainly do it. And you can often find, I find flowers all the time at the dollar store. Dollar Tree has it. My Dollar General has flowers and ribbons and, you know, and all kinds of stuff that you can use. But you can find stuff at yard sales all the time. You know, you can find flower arrangements and stuff that you can take apart, and that's really fun to take things apart and then redo them and make something completely different. Let's see, I'm getting close here. What do you think? Just trying to fill in a couple spots. Okay, I'm gonna stand up and look at it from above. I think I need some more white on the left side. I think I got a lot over here on the right side, but I don't have a whole lot on the left. So, and a lot of times if I get down to like my last few picks or whatever, even if I don't really need to put them in my arrangement, I'll go ahead and add them just to add a little bit of extra fullness. And because I hate to waste them, you know, because if they sit in my craft room, you know, if I have 2 little sprigs or something sitting in my craft room, they're never going to get used. And I would much rather put them in my arrangement, give it a little bit more fullness. Okay. Oh my. How's it looking on your side? How do you think it's looking? Think I'm doing good? Hope so. Okay, we're almost finished here. I have, oops, I just found a couple more little pieces. I think I'm gonna stick this one right in here. I'm just gonna add a little bit. There we go. I'm gonna add a little bit here. Oops, and it wasn't sitting right, so you just pick it up and move it until you get it the way you want it. I'm gonna cut this off right here. Let's see. This side looks a little bit sparse. What do you think? I'm gonna put a few more right in there. And also, if you glue something down, and then even if it's stuck really well, and then you decide you don't like it, take your wire cutters and just cut it back out. It's not a big deal. Or, you know, like this one, I've got 3 flowers on there, but like, let's say I look at it and say, ooh, I don't want all 3 of those flowers, that's too much. I can snip one of those out without any problem. Okay. See, let's see, I just want a small piece to go right in there. So I have a really nice full wreath here. I really like how this is coming together. Oops. That didn't sit in there very good. I'll just rearrange it until I get it. Okay. All right. I really like how that's looking. I think I might put another little thing of leaves right in there just to add a little bit of height. But I think it's looking really good. There we go. You know, and just kind of rearrange things till you like the way they look. And then I want to add this butterfly. I love this butterfly. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of it. And I think I'm going to put it right here. I love it. It has sequins. It has lace on the leaves. And it has some beads on it. So there we go. That's as easy as it gets, I think. I mean, that only took me, what, 15-20 minutes, if that. And there you can see the flowers, and there's the butterfly. And I hope that you like this video. I hope that you'll give it a try, and I hope that you'll subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching.